Welcome to OreoOlive.com. Oreo olives don't mix, but the abstract thought of putting those two words together has enlightened me to create a channel to discuss various topics. So, what I want to talk about today is why destroying a Tesla isn't the answer. Run for office instead. And jump back to this here because we definitely need to discuss this here. But people that sit here writing notes, keying people's cars, and all this stuff. Like we've reached a point where disagreements turn into destruction of people's property. Okay. And this is not how we fix problems in our economy or our society. So I want to really talk about what can really drive a change and why setting things afire and breaking stuff is not how we get this particular thing fixed here. So when you're looking at disagreement to destruction, you can disagree with someone, and that can be something mental where they may not even know what you're disagreeing about. Nobody's actually hearing it, but you are actually doing that by action in terms of not purposely breaking people's stuff. But you got to understand that criticism is definitely healthy for democracy, but when protesting leads to vandalism, that is not, and that's a big difference. So when you ask yourself this question, were the people that was going around destroying these Tesla chargers, destroying the Tesla cars and the Cybertrucks and the dealerships and doing all this stuff from what we were seeing in the video, would the same people destroy a Ford truck or a Toyota if they disagreed with the corporate practices? They probably will more than likely not buy it. And the same could have been done here. But the biggest difference is people are upset from what I can just visually see with this is that Elon Musk is in the White House and the other people who own these other companies or the CEO of these companies are not. So this makes you raise the point that if many of these people who are vandalizing the Tesla infrastructure, and that's going to include the cars, superchargers, and all that, they likely don't own the cars. They likely don't own homes. They likely don't own businesses. Because see, just a couple of years ago, people were so much into EVs and they was running out getting Teslas like crazy. Now people are beginning to start to sell them back. But if Elon Musk, if someone gave you a free Tesla or a free Cybertruck, are you honestly saying you wouldn't take it? Think about that for a second. I would be eager to say that the people who was doing the vandalizing don't even have a vehicle. And if they did, it's probably most definitely not a Tesla. But if it was offered to them, I'm willing to bet that they would most definitely take it for free without a problem. But when we're talking about how hate without logic becomes hypocrisy, it's definitely a big problem. Because when you're hating on something, you can hate on something and not destroy stuff. When you're hating on something, you're destroying other people's stuff. That's when it begins to be a problem. But the whole symbolism of Tesla is Tesla is becoming more than a car brand, and it's definitely a symbol. And people are seeing that symbol right now as a sign of economic inequality. So are people mad at Tesla or mad at the CEO of Tesla? Think about that for a minute. When there was a boycott against Target, did people go out and start destroying Target stores? If people were mad at McDonald's, would they go out and destroy the McDonald's on the corners of every community in America? Think about this, people. The way that this is going about is not making any sense whatsoever because I want to the whole purpose of this particular video is basically to make sure that if you are passionate about policy and change, why wouldn't you run and I'm specifically talking to the people that are destroying the Tesla infrastructure. For those of you that have done this or are doing this and are so mad about Tesla, if you don't like what's going on, why wouldn't you run for any local positions in your community like the school board, city council, or a district representative? So obviously, a lot of people know where the dealerships are, of course, but they don't even know their local, you know, the local people in their community. They don't even know who their state senator is or their state representative is. If you really want to make change, go about it that way. Get into politics, whether it's local within your community, or on a state level or a federal level. Try to get in and make policy changes there and try to get people to support you who believe the same way that you do. And you can turn this vandalism into campaign signs and civic meetings to help better your community. Now, when we look in terms of like the online rage, a lot of this is becoming like real life destruction because people are organizing more online than anything. A lot of people are keyboard warriors that sitting behind keyboards. They're saying a lot of things, but they're not actively enacting any change. And don't get me wrong, throughout every 4 years, it's always going to be different people in office. And whether you're looking at it from a city level, a state level, or federal level, there's always going to be somebody in office that you don't like. That does not mean that you need to go out and start destroying businesses that they've created and things like that. That is definitely does not help solve the problem. But when you look at it much more on a longevity standpoint, think about the people that actually work for these companies. So, for example, when you're out here destroying property, you also have to look at that there could be factory workers, there could be janitors, there could be people who work on within the inside of that particular building now can't go to work to feed their families the next day. Think about that. Think about what you're doing is when these people are impacted when companies get attacked in this particular manner. Now, boycotting a company and not spending your money with it is different than going out and setting things afire. And this impacts working class people because when you're doing this kind of thing, we need to make sure that the whatever change that we're looking for, we need to make sure that we are being smart about it, that we're not just out here just doing things and we're actually protesting with a purpose and not protesting for destruction. Every time something major happens in the news, from like when I just showed you, things get tore all up. But what I encourage you all to do if you don't get anything out of this message is to speak up, organize, and if you really want to make a difference, run for office. It's just that simple. Like, listen, subscribe to the channel, oilolive.com. Look forward to bringing more content to you all soon.